So, listen, without giving away too much, and I know you won't, what is Nope about?
It's about a lot of things. And I think, you know, the first notion that I latched onto when I was writing this movie was this idea of making a spectacle, making something people would have to see.
Right here, you are going to witness an absolute spectacle. So what happens next? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? Here we go.
And I felt like I was fighting for cinema. I was fighting for the theatrical experience when I was writing this film. So it's about spectacle. And from there, I explored that and started to sort of uncover what I think is like the dark side of our relationship with spectacle.
You could make the argument, I watched it last night, you could make the argument that the film, at least on its face, seems to be about this idea that spectacle can consume us, does consume us, quite literally in some cases. Is that part of what we were going for?
I mean, we are, I like what you did. Look, this is a society of the spectacle. And I think that the idea of spectacle harms us in many ways, whether it's something we are so obsessed by that we give it too much power because it has a spectacular nature to it, or if it's because we use the spectacle to distract ourselves from the truth. We have this very dark relationship with it, and I think about bottlenecking, right? When we're driving, when we're in traffic and there's an accident, and that traffic slows down.
Yeah.
It's because everybody's sneaking a peek at that awful spectacle, and it's slowing everybody down. And so I latched onto that and said, let's make a movie about that.
This would be an opportunity. I'm talking rich and famous for life.
There's plenty of videos of flying online.
Ain't nobody gonna get what we gonna get.
What we gonna get?
The money shot.
It's about human nature.
Yeah. All my films are about human nature and about something that I fear is part of our DNA and scares me. And it's something that I share with us, but I feel like it hasn't been sort of pinpointed yet.
I read in an interview recently that you maintain this is not a film that could have been made 5 years ago. Why not?
I think there's, you know, a lot of reasons. You know, I think from the standpoint of you know, representation, I think this idea of, you know, letting a black director put his vision into a film and commit to it and into a, you know, the Great American Flying Saucer film. You know, let's put it this way. 5 years ago, I didn't think they would ever let me do that. And so and then even, you know, on the technological front,
yeah.
You know, I worked with cinematographer Hoyte van Hoytema, who is absolute legend. And some of the techniques we developed on this to achieve spectacle have never been attempted before. And so I'm just very proud of what we pulled off in that way.
A couple times I'm watching, I'm thinking, this is expensive. This is really expensive. They gave Jordan Peele the checkbook, and I'm like, go do what you want.
Hey, you know, yeah, I mean, look, that's another piece of this puzzle is that, you know, so much of my career before I became a director was, you know, marred with this internalized sense that I could never be allowed to do that no one would ever trust me with money, you know, enough money to do my vision, the way they would trust other people. I felt that was true, and so here I am, Universal Studios. They've proven me wrong.
Get Out, the social commentary on race is obvious.
We have to wait for the tram to go by.
Yes, these are folks who are going to be coming to see.
This is monumental. This is what I'm about. This is what it's about right here.
We should have
right now.
Them over.
They think that I am.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Mr. Peele, it's his set.
Welcome. Welcome.
They'll come back next week.
Yeah, they'll think I'm an animatronic that's just here, and they'll come back.
So, Get Out, obviously. I mean, the social commentary there on race is it's pretty obvious.
Do you find being African American has more advantage or disadvantage in the modern world?
Oh,
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
and I think you can make the argument that us is sort of about what human beings, like what we're capable of, the sinister nature of our behavior. This doesn't seem to be as much about race. Is that by design?
Yeah, it's certainly not as much about Get Out, where, the very fabric of the plot machinations were about, this racial dynamic. I feel like it's impossible to make a movie with people of color in it and have it not be about race. I mean, hell, I think it's impossible to make any movie without it being about race because, race is all around us. I think what is interesting and sort of where the notion of Nope and the title came from, which on one hand is, something that black people recognize as our point of view in horror situations, is this acknowledgement that of this thing we're talking about, where you can't have black people in a flying saucer film and just have it be the same experience. It's not. There's a different relationship.
No.
And this film is also, which takes place in the outskirts of Hollywood, or the industry of the spectacle, is also so wrapped up with this idea of representation and erasure, which those themes are in there, but to your point, it's an adventure and a horror spectacle about human nature. I think, as we talk about spectacles, it becomes abundantly clear that all the themes and characters in this movie interact or represent the media in some way, and or some faction of it. And obviously, the nucleus of the media I'm sort of examining here is Hollywood. And the selling of dreams, the selling of nightmares, the selling of illusion, that's in the cornerstone of the piece.
But it's not just an indictment of Hollywood. I mean, there are a couple moments in the film where it's sort of an indictment of us, of journalism.
Yeah. Any time that we're going to make money off of the human need to see something crazy, that to me is what I call spectacleization. And I'm a guilty party. Yeah. You're a guilty party. We kind of all are in some ways, whatever side we're all on it, and that's kind of the point.
We are, by the way.
Okay, here we go.
This is a big deal.
Because
Jordan Peele has been memorialized.
Memorialized?
Does that
happen after?
You've got Jaws, you've got Back to the Future.
Yeah, but
you don't have a lot of sets. But I mean, well, that's true. That's a good point. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
this is a big deal.
This is good.
This is your set.
So this, if I can tell you about the space.
Yeah.
I know you saw the film, but this is Jupiter's Claim, which is a theme park owned by a former child star, Ricky Juke Park, played by Steven Yeun. It is in the vision of the movie Kid Sheriff that he was in as a child in the mid-'90s. I don't know if you remember that film, Kid Sheriff.
I do not.
Okay, well, it's real. And here we are. And obviously, there's more to meet the eye than here. So, if you're when you're going to see Nope, so there is another layer to what happens here.
You don't want to give away too much.
Don't want to give away too much.
But you could make the argument that this is a centerpiece of the film, the Star Lasso experience. We won't tell folks exactly.
We won't tell people what happened
there. What happened here.
But something did happen there. Something did occur. And, here we are. No, I mean, look, it's a UFO movie. Yeah. And Yeah, there is a something about this world that to juxtapose the sort of uncanny valley world of this sort of mom and park theme park, right in the middle of a sort of UFO hotspot. It was just the kind of juxtaposition it was very me, I thought.
If someone had said to you 10, 15, 20 years ago that Jordan Peele, one of his films would have permanent space here on the lot at Universal, what would you have said?
I would have said, well, then it would have worked. My plan would have worked.
This is part of the grand plan all along.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I knew to really dream this big, but I did. I did. I mean, when I first came to Universal Studios as a kid, I was very enamored with movie making and the idea of being in a space where people actually make movies. And I just want to, and so, to have a home on a lot, let alone this lot, is just very special to me.
Michael Abels, he, of course, scored this one. He scored Get Out. He scored Us. I interviewed him a few months ago. I've been a fan of his work for a long time. And he told the story of when you called to invite him on that first project. And he thought you were punking him. What is it about Michael and his style that has led you guys to work together so much?
Well, it's so funny that he thought I was punking him because I had never directed a film when I first reached out to him on Get Out. And what I loved about his style is he has an ability to create new genres of music. And he can do it many times. You can sort of describe a new flavor of music, and he can achieve that.
They took him. They took him all.
I gotta get out this house. I'm trying to save you. My brother is out there.
And that's how I want my films to feel. I want it to feel like something you've never experienced. And so, that's what he does. He's like a Shaolin monk.
Yeah. That's a great, and masterful. The music last night, not to give away too much, but I feel like when you watch and you listen to a Jordan Peele film now, and that it's a Jordan Peele film. Like, that's become one of the hallmarks of it.
I love that. I love that. I spend a lot of time just focusing on this responsibility of trying to be a mirror for what comes in, and so to hear at the end people say that they can see me in there, in the cross section of these things, they sort of see me. I feel like, yeah, you do.
Daniel Kaluuya, you guys have become quite the dynamic duo. We came to know him and Get Out. We see him again here. What is it about working with Daniel that makes it so special?
Daniel, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's my favorite actor to watch and to work with as well. We have a special. I believe he has this with any director he has this with, but we have a shorthand that is just the dream as a director, that you can have somebody and with very little words, it's like siblings, with very little words, we can come up to we walk up after a scene, I can be like, that thing, but what? Yep. It's like one of those silent conversations, and he's so committed. He's so focused, such a professional. Yeah, man, that's my star.
I want to talk about something. I want to ask you whether something informs your work, and if so, how it does. You are a biracial man in America, white mom, black father, and some of the themes that we've seen emerge in your films. It would seem from the outside, it would seem to be that worldview informs your movie making in a somewhat pronounced way. Is that accurate? And if so, how?
My race, I think, has informed my entire artistic journey. And part of it has been trying to reconcile the box and the boxes that the country puts people of color in, and trying to break out of that box, those boxes, whatever, and trying to identify what does this mean, what. And so I think from an early on, you see this pattern in my work. It is about digging into those boxes so I can shed them and break out of them. And so ever since I kind of started on that mission, I got into this pattern of just like, look, if I see a box, I'm going to break it. If I see something I'm not supposed to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to figure out how to make it work.
When people leave the theater after they see this film, what do you want them to be thinking about? Not to think, but what do you want them to be thinking about?
I mean, that's a great question. This is their turn. This is their time for their end of the conversation. I think if I had too clear of an idea of what I wanted them to be thinking about, I think I feel like I wouldn't be having the conversation with the audience. That's up to them. I want to know what they, like I said, I feel like with Nope, we described a feeling and we portrayed a feeling, and we brought a sense of magic and adventure out of what was a very dark place and very dark time. And so I hope that they're just fulfilled and glad they went out to see it at an IMAX, which, by the way, IMAX.
You used IMAX cameras for this, I read.
Oh, yeah. We used IMAX cameras.
Again, very expensive.
Oh, very expensive stuff. You can't just, but it makes, it's, I think it's the best way to watch the film.
Yeah.
And, the format is just immersive.
It is.
The whole thing with me is like, I wanted to make a flying saucer movie because I just felt like if we can feel like we are in the presence of something other, if we feel like that's real, then that's just an immersive experience worthy of going to the movies.
When Get Out came out, I read that at the time you said you had 3 or 4 more films like that of the horror genre. You had 3 of those, 4 of those, you had them in your pocket. But as you sit here now, you say there are more.
So you weren't supposed to say it?
Did I give it away? Oh, no.
No, you good. Look, I've got more. I'm not going to have just one more film.
Okay.
I've got more now. No, it's
of the horror genre.
It's funny you bring up the horror genre. I would say yes, because I'm always gonna be having scary things in my film. But I do like this. I do like expanding. And I like working with the comedy. I like working with the adventure. Yeah. Genre is a thing to subvert.
You like to bend the genre.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because there were a few times last night where I thought, this is funny, this is thrilling, Do you consider this a horror film?
Well, like I said, I think it's Nope. I do consider it a horror film in that horror it's my favorite genre, and I hope it honors horror. I hope it's scary enough to make people talk about Nope. At the same time, I want people to feel some other things besides fear as well. Let's put it that way.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.